Don't be a doofus. All right. Let me make these mistakes so you don't have to. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the bench. Today, we're going to move on with our MP11 build. Built the differentials. Our next stage is going to be gearboxes. Hi, all. This is Editing Doofuss jumping in again. If you watch bag 1, you already know I messed up the diffs. Guess what? Bag 2, that mistake comes back to bite me. The diffs don't actually fit into the gearboxes the way I built them. Not neatly, anyway. And there's a little bit of bind. So here's your warning. Don't build them the way I did in bag 1. Follow the Kyosho manual carefully. Make sure your shims, orientation, and your diff cups, especially the outdrive cups, are correct before dropping them in the gearbox. I ended up rebuilding the diffs off camera so we could move forward, and then I got back on track with the rest of bag 2, which includes finishing the gearboxes, adding the chassis side guards, and putting together the steering bell crank. So yeah, do as I say, not as I did. Let's get back to the build. This is all still in the same bag, by the way. The MP11 bag 1. All right, let's see what we need to do. It looks like we're going to need these gearboxes. Let me grab my little flush cutters that have seen better days. Oh, these are, okay, these are for the sway bar link on the front of the diff cover. Just hang on to those. Doesn't look like there's anything else on the sprue. We can just throw that away. We have gearbox lid. Those clamps for the sway bar and differential, right? And it looks like we have some options on how to run our differentials. I thought they talked about metal inserts here on the box, but I don't see those. These are plastic. Maybe there are metal inserts that go here that are optional, perhaps? I guess we're going to find out. But it looks like we're going to have to put our spacers here and here on the gearbox, so it's inside and outside on the bulkhead there. It looks like you can choose where you want your diff to sit in the car, up and down. I would prefer my differential to be lower. On the Technos, we run -2 millimeter gearboxes, so that would probably have the same effect, right? If we were to lower our differential in the car. Let's do that. We'll have some fun with it, right? These two look like center, and these two look like offset. And you could put it in one way or the other, it appears. So let's do that. We'll use the offset, and we'll put the differential lower in the car. So looks like just put this insert in to the gearbox, maybe like so. Yeah, and it just presses in. Like that. And is that all there is to it? Just those spacers, and then bearings front and back in those spacers. and they press in pretty nice. No interference fit. And it looks like we'll come through with the pinions. It does look like you put some grease on these gears, which is, yeah, makes total sense. And there's not a shim on the front. Okay. So that just goes in through. And the out drive will come out the back. I'll put some grease on it in a moment. Then it looks like we just go directly to drive cup. And this grub screw is going to be metal on metal. So let's get some thread lock on it. Just a little bit of thread lock will do you all right. Then I like to run the screw in and then run it back out and probably run it back in and maybe run it back out again just to make sure that the thread lock gets smeared around everywhere. Yeah. And then you just drop it onto the out drive on the gearbox and tighten that guy down. You want to crank these pretty well as hard as you can. I like to put a screwdriver through the handle of my wrench and use that as a T and really put some torque on that. These are one of these things you'll hear me say often. This does not come off without your permission. If you don't take it off, it doesn't come off on its own, right? Ideally. Okay. Next, it looks like we need the inserts for the differential. Again, we'll go with the down. Keep that diff low in the car. Still don't know if it's the right thing or not, but figure that out. It looks like these just insert into the gearboxes like so. So they must offer these parts in metal, because these ones are plastic. Looks like the that's not that bearing, that's for the drive. It looks like you actually have to slip these over the bearings first. Get your directions lined up right, and then you can just insert the whole thing into the gearbox. Like, does that bit of plastic need to come out of the bottom? Because that doesn't really let the diff go in. Oh yeah, it appears actually, yes, we are supposed to cut this out. Okay. Wow. They must have it there just to keep it shape while it's being molded? I don't know. Strange. Okay, so we just cut that out. Let me get my X-Acto blade and give it a little shave just to make sure it's nice and clean. Yeah. Okay. And then, like we said, we should be able just to insert this thing with the diff holders right there. Like that. It looks like they go, and this one needs to be turned around like that. Then that presses in to the gearbox. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. And then these ring gears get some grease. Just use this white grease as Protec. And it doesn't, you don't need a ton, just get some on some of the teeth and give it a little spin. Should take care of itself. Why does that feel crunchy? It's like it binds right certain places only. Right there, maybe? Right there. Why does that bind? Is this a problem maybe that's caused by having both the bits pointed down? Maybe I should read the manual, huh? So they show your arrow down here, which I have. Same thing on the other side, which I have. Then, when they put their inserts in the differential, they used up. Right? The arrow there is up. Oh, but they have the gearbox actually turned upside down. Maybe what I need to do is actually move this up and leave these guys in that position. Let's try that. Differential is very difficult to take out. Surprisingly so. So let's go back and take the outdrive here off. I just want to see, right? Like, I don't know what my options are. The thread lock really went to work, didn't it? Jeez. I mean, I've got the screw backed out, and it still does not want to come off. What did I do? There we go. Thread lock really went to work. Even held the thing on. Yeah, I'll clean that up. We don't need thread lock in our bearing. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm thinking is, if we take these inserts back out and flip them, maybe that's all we need to do. Oh, you know, we can't really get to this one from the other side. We have to do it from, yeah. All right, and so the way they had kind of shown everything was reverse of what I did, so let's do it this way. One of those things that might be wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway and just see what we learn. I'm gonna do it that outdrop cut. Here we go. Okay, let's try this again. So we're gonna go down and down. Yeah, like that. Now No, I don't feel bind here. Maybe just a hair. So it seems like that was the trick. We needed to move the diff down and the drive up. Let's see how that plays. Okay. Then we just put the lid on. That feels very tight. Like, it binds a lot right there. It's like... Maybe I should just follow the book. Adjust with 13... Oh, they're saying just shim it if you need. But maybe if I just put a shim on this side. They give you one. Oh, these are hard to take out. Okay. Let's do that. Put a shim on the opposite side from the ring gear to try to push that ring gear away from the pinion a little bit, just to get the right backlash. Like that. Oops. All right, arrow down. Come on. There you go. These are kind of difficult to work with. I don't love it. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to sit right. Is it because of that shim in there? I mean, that's the right backlash because it's not binding any longer. I just need to get these things set right. How do we do that? We press some in? No. Oh, they have like there's a key that goes into the side. Yeah, see, this little point needs to drop into a slot on the inside. Let's see how we do that. All right, just turn a little bit. Yeah, like that. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side. Like that. Close. There we go. Okay. That's much better. And no bind. Just a hair. I think it'll come out. Whatever that is, I'm not really. Just a little bit of bind, like just in one little spot. I don't really understand it. Maybe it'll run out. It sounds terrible, right, to say. Maybe it'll run out. I mean, it feels good. Otherwise, just that little tiny little bit of bind, right? Yeah, it'll run out. We'll make it work. All right. Next. We're going to have to do this twice, huh? For front and for rear. Yep. All right. Separate these. Oh, we're supposed to put a screw in there too. And then remember, we also have to cut these little separator things out, else the differential won't even fit. Haircut. All right, we're gonna get our little sway bar clamps. And we can toss this sprue. And let's do the same thing we did last time. I guess we'll use this other sprue since we've already taken the ones we wanted off of this one. I don't know, just follow along what I did to the other side. We put this arrow up in the gearbox on the entry, the input. Oops. Radar pinion. Does not fit through that bearing. There we go. Is it? Did I? I did. Dummy. I put the inserts in opposite directions. That arrow is definitely pointing the wrong way. Okay. So you can press these out from the other side. Arrow goes down. Wait, how do we do? I don't know. Other way. Jeez. Sorry, guys. I'll figure this out eventually. Right? Right. And then some thread lock on our grub screw threads there, and then we'll put that grub screw in and get that thread lock spread all over and put it on. Let me go ahead and clean out that thread lock from the inside because we don't need it. Last time it caused me trouble. All right. All right. And let's find a flat spot. And crank that thing down. So that doesn't go anywhere. All right. This is the front. Right, these, we set the side up. There's arrows down. Oh, let's go ahead and just put the shim on to start. Since it feels like we're gonna need it. I needed it on the other Gearbox, so probably need it here too. Hey, are these outdrive cups different? Was I not paying attention and I built all this shit wrong? Oh my. They are different. They are totally different. Oh no. Did I put... Oh my gosh. So... Pay attention when you build, guys. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. All these outdrives are different. So it's a beefier outdrive for, I think, what's supposed to be the center. And then I mix-matched them, man. I just willy-nilly put my diffs together and didn't pay attention to the outdrives closely. These are all mix-matched. That's problematic. And the center diff doesn't even have any of the right ones on there. The beefy one. All right, kids. I think from here I'm going to have to take these apart and rebuild them with diff cups in the right place. Shoot. Man. That's problematic. Yeah, so you got a heavy diff outdrive here. The one on this differential. And there are little ones everywhere else. What a mistake. Well, there's a reason that we're called Doofuss's bench. Man. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera, take these apart, put them back together, and when I come back, I'll have these gearboxes built, and we can run from there.
5 hours later.
Okay, so we got that sorted. What I had to do was take apart all the diffs and put them all back together with the right outdrive cups. Don't be a doofus, all right? Let me make these mistakes so you don't have to. I'm still learning the conventions of this manual. Like I said, this is my first Kyosho build ever. So, you know, I guess it is what it is. So I'm kind of right back to where I was, except that I have the right parts together. Let me get a little bit of grease on these rings, and I'll show you too what I did with the gearboxes. I also, you know, appealed to experts, and they told me how to read the book. So let's look at it. In the book, they tell you to have your input down and your differentials down. I had them backwards, mixed up. Now, hopefully, with the right outdrives in the right places, we should be good to go. Let's try it without shims and see what happens. And so yeah, so the arrows go down, down, or point down, you know. Point down. Oh, that's backwards. That's pointing upwards. And that's pointing upwards. So let's put them in the right way. Well, I gotta say, this is a little bit frustrating to get these inserts in right. Just a little. Not bad. We put a lid here now. Oh, look, no bind when you use the right outdrive cups. Hey. How's that? Magic. Yeah. Use the right outdrive cups on your differentials. Pay attention. Don't be like me. What a mistake. That cost me like 20 minutes. I had to take apart all the diffs, put them all back together, put them all in oil, everything. So the big difference here, right, again, is the cup size. So let me see if you can see that. Making some more light on it. Basically, the center differential gets these thick, heavy outdrive cups, and the front and rear diffs get lighter weight outdrive cups. I'm not sure why they did that. It is what it is, but it made things interesting for a minute. Yeah, don't make that mistake. I could have saved some time, you know. I also stripped out one of these screw holes. I kind of trying to fix it with just a dab of CA glue, just to try to get it to lock in. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to buy another cup, and I don't even know if they have those in the shop. So we'll just hope for the best. I don't really care. A little bit of CA glue won't hurt anybody. It might end up holding the whole thing tight together. We'll see. I know everybody's out here yelling at me. Like, dude, what are you doing? But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I won't make this mistake in the future. All right. And let me clean up some of this glue. You know. Oh yeah, that's nice. Nice and tight. Pulls down nice. Perfect. So we'll keep a close eye on that. I'll probably buy another diff cup here in the not too distant future, just to avoid any problems. So same thing here. Arrow faces down. We'll put our inserts on and have those face down as well. And then we should have our gearboxes all set. I can let you go for the next video, maybe. No, actually, we'll do the side guards like they say on this page, and then we'll move on. Yeah. Why are these diffs so difficult to get into the gearbox? I mean, I don't know if that was the right way, Kyosho. I like it. I like that you have these inserts. Saves the gearbox, but dude, what a pain. If you're gonna get these things fidgeted in there, right? Get the arrows pointing the right direction. It's just kind of a pain. Not the best experience, but it works. And this one has no bind. Good. So it helps when you use the right outdrive cups. What a fool. All right, let's put these screws in to the lids, and we'll be done with the gearboxes. We can jump over to these side pods for the chassis plate, and I'll stop the video here at the end of page 14. So far, the build is nice. It goes together pretty well. Other than my mistakes, there's a reason that we're called Doofuss's Bench. So that's one gearbox built. Next one, and then we'll jump over to that chassis plate. Seems strange that they use button head screws on the front of the gearbox cover, but is what it is. Sure, it works well enough. Probably not gonna run into so much resistance that you strip these screw heads out, so it's probably just fine. I would use a cap head if there was any chance of stripping the screw out. But I mean, into plastic, I think it's fine. So that's 2 gearboxes built. Let's move over to the chassis plate and the side pods. Let me go grab them. Chassis plate. Where are those side rails? Wing. Oh, we saw those things. Did I leave them out? No, here they are. Right. I love how these bags are just stapled together. It makes things easy. I'll tell you, on my techno builds, all the bags are sealed shut. You got to cut them all open, which, I guess has its own benefits, but it's easier this way. Just rip it open. Staple pulls straight away, and you're good to go. It's like the sprue doesn't have anything else on it. We can toss it. Looks like we have some Velcro for the body. Yeah, see, you just tear through the staples and you're done. Now, where's the screws for these guys? Where do they come in? How would you guess? It's these go the other direction, huh? Like so? Yeah. Like so. Now, but where's our screws for that? Would we guess that's in bag 2? Yeah. Looks like it's in number 2. Let's find bag 2. Let's see. 9, 3, 7. Oh, did I leave 2 out? No. It's not, maybe I left 2 out. But no. Here's 2. MP11 2. We have servo saver, steering components. We'll just power through this bag and then we'll move on. Yeah, let's do that. So it looks like we have to take this sprue there, and it looks like there's a little plastic washer or something. I don't know what you call that. A bush. Some kind of bushing. Looks like that sprue is empty now. Throw that away. Like steering components here. And hardware. Right. Ackerman plate. Not sure what these other plates are yet. We'll get to that. Servo saver. For these servo savers, I like to make sure that there's a little dab of Loctite on the threads. So this is the first time I've built a kit where the servo saver was already pre-assembled. This is new to me. What I'll do is just take my little hook here and get some thread lock on there, and then I'll just work that through the spring into the threads like that as I can. You know, just need to get some thread lock on those threads, and then when we wind that back up, that thread lock will get caught in there and be good to go. Do they give us some guidance on servo saver settings? I'll tell you that on the Techno kits, they tell you to wind this all the way down and then back it off like 2 turns. We don't actually do 2 turns. Typically, we crank it all the way down and then back it off like maybe half a turn. I might like to do the same here. Oh, this. I don't like this plastic top to the servo saver. It looks like that nut's already spinning in there while I was just trying to crank it down. That is problematic. Let me put a dab of glue on this too, just be safe. I know for the MP9 and 10, there's a metal servo saver top piece. I almost picked it up today, but I don't know if it's the same for the MP11 as it is on the MP9. I'm going to have to find out because, yeah, this plastic is not going to work for me if it's going to strip and move. You can see it flexing a little bit now, but maybe I don't have to worry about it once it's on the car. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, back to the problem at hand. Chassis, side pods. These are all metal on metal. I'll put a little bit of thread lock in each of these holes. These are, you probably don't want these screws coming out on their own. They hold your side pods on and give you some defense from crashes coming in the side. All right. And these screws are 2.0. No, they're 1.5 mil. For real? Yeah. Okay. These are the right screws. The only screws. No, there's other caps. The same. I'm not super impressed with this plastic. I guess we'll see how it goes in the long run, but it does not feel very sturdy. Maybe it's fine. Screws going nice and easy. It's metal on metal. The thread lock should hold everything together. You don't have to crank it down. Just get it tight, snug. It's just holding on plastic. Go and wipe the thread lock off the bottom. Find off a manual. And let's get this other one on. Let's see what else we need to do out of this bag, and then we'll call it a day. What do I do with my 1.5? Hey, just stay there for me. Jeez. Jeez. All right. All right. Wipe off our thread lock mess. All right. What's next? Lots of thread lock. All right. What's next? We got to go steering posts. I saw those. Here they are. We'll need those. Looks like we need 2 countersunk screws that are 4x10. I think these are 4x10. And then these will go up through the chassis plate, I guess here. How do they go? It looks like they use these 2 holes. And it looks like they're sort of keyed, but the chassis plate isn't keyed, so we'll figure that one out. This is going to be metal on metal, so put a little bit of thread lock. And like I said, I like to run a screw in and back out, run it in, back out just a couple of times just to make sure that thread lock gets everywhere. Smeared around. And then we'll put it on the car. Let's see, 2.5. And looks like we might be able to like hold this. Use my pliers. That looks pretty straight. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Next. Thread lock. Run the screw in and out. Then we'll put it on. Oopsie. Okay. Looks good. All right. So we did that part. What's next? Looks like these motor mount plates. Oh yeah, it looks like these mount here. Yeah. Let's see how they go. So they face out. Otherwise, are they identical? Make sure. It appears that they are identical. Everything lines up. Okay. For these, you will want to put some Loctite. These are your motor mounts plates, so you definitely do not want to lose these. Eight. All right, fine. Oopsie. Crank these down pretty tight. They should never come off without your permission. Very nice. Same thing on the other side. Right. Looks like we're getting this ready for motor. Like I said, crank these down. Super duper tight. Wipe off our thread lock, which is between the chassis and the mount plate too, but that's okay. Maybe it'll make it so if that screw comes off, the plate won't move. All right, so that gets us up to having some steering posts, motor mount, and the next thing we'll do is the steering. Your servo saver, crank bell crank rather, you know what yeah. So we'll finish up to right here and call this done. Move on to the next. It looks like we'll go, so this is already assembled. I don't know, they show you the assembly, I guess, so you can see all the parts. There should be bearings associated with this, right? Let's find those. So we have some bearings. Ooh, what's that? It's stuck in the bearing. Is a bushing of some sort? Ah. I don't know if we need that yet. We'll get to that. Okay. We'll make the bell crank. How does this work? So that little bushing that I cut off looks to go in the arm in this insert. And it looks like the wider part should face the outside. Like that. Or is it inside? That's not really clear. It looks like the fatter part actually faces. This is probably a tuning option or like a shorter or longer throw on the, oops, I put it on backwards again. Like a shorter or longer throw for your steering. Right. That way. That way. Then it looks like this screw will come through here. Is there? But it floats in there. Is it supposed to float in there? Like there's a lot of room. I don't know if that's right. Am I missing a step perhaps? I don't quite understand how these go. Oh, this goes through. Oh, I see. Never mind. So then they get these bushes in, yeah, in the bottom of the bell crank, and then that sits in the bush. Yep, I see. That makes sense. And that eliminates all the play, and it's just metal on metal, no bearing. Let's put a little grease. I just, it seems strange to me that there's no bearing here. So I just put a little grease to make sure that any friction is managed, I guess. We wouldn't want any bind there, you know? Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Next goes the Ackerman plate. And it looks like gears go back. Now, does that get a bush too? Yes, it does. So that little bushing goes over the. Tell you what, we can put the bush in the plate. And then the plate on the screw. You know, let's put a little bit of grease there as well. All right. Yeah, oops. And from there we'll put a lock nut. And that looks like a 5 or 5.5. 5.5. All right. How can we hold this guy? Is this a 7 or an 8? 7. Tighten that down. Don't want to let it play here. Yeah. All right. Feels right. Okay. Go to the next. So insert this little bush in the bottom. Screw to the top. Let's put a little grease. All right. And then need that other small bushing. Go through the Ackerman plate. And other way. This bushing faces that way. Oops. And then that screw comes up there. And we get another lock nut. Come on. Go on there. There you go. So 7mm on this side. 5.5 on the other. Nice and tight. Okay. And then no, I guess it goes this way. Something like that. Let's look. Let's actually follow the manual. Yeah. So bearing in either side, top and bottom. And then they'll slide over the steering posts. Like so. And then there's no bind there. Looks like what? There is a screw or two to put in the top. One thing I'll note is I have another lock nut. I'm not sure what it's for. I don't think we skipped any. I mean, we have lock nut. Maybe there's one that'll go on the arm of the bell crank. Unsure. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we just need to put these screws in the top here. Put some Loctite. It looks like we're not supposed to tighten them all the way down. I might be backing these off here in the future. Not entirely sure what they want us to do. But I will put it down, and they say, I mean, like, it's got this little icon that looks like a little space, right? So you don't want to put it all the way down, I guess. Oh, I'll leave a little space, just like they say. I'll follow instructions. Maybe I'll come back and redo these later in the manual. I'm not sure how this goes. Okay. With that, we'll call bag 2 pretty well done. When we come back, I will jump into bag 3 and we'll run through the gearbox installation and get some arms set up in the next one. So make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next.